those developments. And we are going to allow the provincial chairperson of the African National Congress, Comrade Panyaza Hendrik, who will take us through those developments. There are leaders of different parties that are represented in the government of local unity, the African National Congress, the Economic Freedom Fighters, the Patriotic Alliance, Jama-ah Party, the AIC, GOAT, ATM, AHC, PAC, COPE, UDM, and APC. So all the 12 parties will be represented in this statement, which the chairperson of the ANC in the province will read. Comrade Panyaza, over to you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Sasavana, our Regional Secretary. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the political parties that are here, and also thank members of the media for responding on short notice to be part of this announcement. Moments ago, the political management of the Government of Local Unity and Johannesburg, consisting of the ANC, PA, Jama-ah, AIC, GOAT, ATM, AHC, PAC, COPE, UDM, and APC met to discuss an urgent matter presented to us by Jama-ah. In the meeting, Jama-ah presented to us the resignation letter of the Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, Councillor Thapelo Amad. After lengthy deliberation and consultation, the Government of Local Unity accepted the resignation letter of our Executive Mayor. We want to reaffirm that the Government of Local Unity in Johannesburg remains intact and will defend motions against the Speaker and the Chief Whip. We want to take this opportunity to thank Councillor Thapelo Amad for agreeing to represent the collective as the Executive Mayor. We further want to thank him for preserving the interest of the Government of Local Unity and the people of Johannesburg above his personal interest. He demonstrated selfless leadership, and we appreciate him for that. In the next few minutes, he will be submitting the resignation letter, or has already submitted the resignation letter, to the Speaker of the Johannesburg Metro Municipality. In the next few days, the Government of Local Unity will meet to submit a new name as our candidate for the position of the Executive Mayor in Johannesburg. The Government of Local Unity continues to make meaningful progress. Last week alone, working with other political parties, we managed to bring Western District Municipality as well as the Mohali Local Municipality. We remain resolute to stabilize and accelerate service delivery in all municipalities under the leadership of the collective of this coalition. We want to thank all organizations and formations under the banner of Government of Local Unity. Ours is to remain focused and ensure that local government in our region puts the people's interest first and contributes to the economic development and renders better services to our communities. Thanks, Sasawa.
No, thanks very much for the statement. I wanted to check if there are any questions from the media, guys, if there is any question. Okay. Oh, all right. Tidi, I was going to be shocked that there's no question from you.
Maybe just two quick ones for me. Thapelo, specifically to you, what necessitated this decision? We know that there's a motion of no confidence ahead of tomorrow. Did you not trust that all of these people, all these different parties, would have had your back? Just talk me through the rationale behind getting to this point. Secondly, for the provincial chair of the ANC NEC itself has been deliberating over coalitions. And part of the conversations I've had, maybe two questions for you. Part of the conversations they seem to have is the way these coalitions have been functioning in Gauteng, and there is a new framework that they want to function from, which pretty much in my head almost undo some of the work that you've done. How will you navigate that? There's also a concern that seems to have been flagged that a lot of what's happening from the eyes of your own party, right, is that it's about wheeling and dealing, it's about contracts, as opposed to being about service delivery, as opposed to being about people. Can you just make comments on that? Because then they said, they wouldn't obviously name and shame, but that is a concern that they flagged themselves as the higher structure of the ANC. Thank you.
Thank you, TDs. Let's get the second question.
When we saw the removal of Dr. Mpho-Palati, the motivation behind it was to stabilize the city, to bring stability to the city of Johannesburg. Doesn't this resignation somewhat contribute to the instability that has come with coalition government?
Okay.
It's Heidi Jokas from UNCA. This is for Thapelo Amad. There have obviously been a lot of concerns about your mayorship, many calling for you to resign and step down, which you have done now. But a lot has been said about you being out of depth and not understanding your role as the mayor. Is this part of the reason why you resigned?
Okay. Are those all the questions?
Just one more question. Can we get clarity on the 9 billion rand loan? We understand that during an interview with the SABC, it was brought up, and we are aware of the 2 billion rand loan that went through council. Did this 9 billion rand loan go through council, or was it part of a plan or future plan?
Okay. All right. Thanks very much. I will allow. I will allow the executive mayor, the outgoing executive mayor, to answer first, and then we will deal with other questions after.
Thank you so much. Let me first thank the collective, the team that is here, all the parties that has supported us to hold the fort. You should remember that the first disruption of service delivery happened in 2016. The second one was in 2021. However, I had to hold a fort to a certain degree. Of course, we as the collective, we have set the terms of reference on how to govern this coalition. There are priorities that were articulated to say this is the priorities of this group. So whoever who's going to succeed is going to continue from there. And this has nothing to do with the public opinion on my ability to lead. Secondary to that, of course, the 9 billion was just a prospect. It was a discussion. As the executive mayor, I engaged the stakeholders to ensure that there's stability, and when you engage the stakeholders, it also suggests good governance. So I met the prospect. It wasn't part of council. There was never contravention of any laws of council. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Comrade Thapelo. Truly appreciate that. Firstly, let's clarify a point. The framework that was tabled by the African National Congress at the NEC, it was to strengthen coalition discussions. It has not specifically targeted any province. It was a nationwide analysis of each and every municipality, hung municipality, and on the basis of that, it made recommendations that we have accepted. We were consulted, we were part of that process, and the President even this morning reiterated that the stance that we have taken was a correct stand. It will be unfortunate if you claim that we have not made progress. I mean, 16 months ago, we didn't even have a municipality that we have won outrightly. As we are speaking to you now, we've got almost 9.5 municipalities that are under the leadership of coalition in our province. Coalition works. It's only the coalition with the DA that doesn't work. And that's a problem. So we committed ourselves that we'll find a mechanism of dealing with all of the issues. Councillor Thapelo didn't resign because we are scared of a motion tomorrow. We've got the numbers. Yeah, we've got all the numbers. There's no single coalition partner that has left. Which simply means that any motion that was going to be tabled tomorrow, we're going to crush that motion. But if Councillor Thapelo feels that the interest of the coalition is compromised, and he feels that we need to keep this coalition intact, and therefore he feels that he should step aside, we accepted that, reluctantly so we must indicate, but we accepted that and consulted with his political party and dealt with the issues that they wanted us to deal. And we're on record that even though he's resigning, this coalition has committed itself that it's going to take care of him, but it also, individually, but as a collective, appreciated his role and what he has done thus far. So he's not running away from a motion. We need to keep this coalition intact, and it's very important that at all times this government of local unity opens up to its challenges and its opportunities. Even though we have succeeded thus far, it will be naive to say there are not challenges or limitations. So this collective has committed itself to deal with those challenges and those limitations. By the way, there are only 30% young municipalities across the country. 70% of municipalities are led by a single party. So we just need to fix the 30% and attend to those issues. We are indeed stabilizing. It does not mean that when a mayor leaves, it contributes to instability. We had this government of local unity intact. We've arranged IDPs, all the MMCs were all out assisting, dealing with these issues. It's those parties that lose, and within a short space, they feel they can field a motion. I mean, it happened in Swan, where another party, if it lost the issue of the speaker, they feel they can table a motion in 2 weeks' time. I mean, it's the same year as a frivolous motion. They know they'll be defeated, but they still continue. So it's part of democracy, and we must accept that. So it does not mean any form of instability. Actually, this coalition is stable, strong, standing, capable, and is delivering services to our people across the province. On concerns of citizens about quality leadership provided by Thapelo, I think he answered it correctly. Where he stands and where we stand as well, he gave it the best shot. And unfortunately, any other leader, there will be weaknesses and criticism there and there. I don't think there is a leader that is perfect. I don't think that as society we should not tolerate to make, if people make mistakes, we should not be there to assist and guide them. We committed and we still have confidence in him, but if he felt that he needs to protect this collective and not have his name being a point of reference in the differences within the collective, and he feels that if he step aside, it will assist this collective. This collective was actually touched by that statement. And as this collective, we remain firm and strong that we are still intact, and as soon as we finalize the candidature of the new mayor, we'll be in a position to move together. But whatever motion against the speaker, whatever motion against the chief, we are ready to crush that motion. And that motion will crush. And you can see that the so-called moonlight, because if it's another, if it's another race, is a moon. If it's other people, it's a doomsday. That on its own, the characterization of people who you differ with and you feel that you can clap them and say they're a doomsday, it's very traumatic. But they are fighting even before the ink dries. 2 weeks ago, we were told they were signing the moonshots. Today, they were fighting on the social media on how dishonest the Democratic Alliance it is. and we want them. But if you form a pact on the basis of anger, not on the basis of progress and development of our country, you're not going to succeed. We are on the side of peace. We're on the side of ensuring there's development in our communities. We're on the side of ensuring that every community is service. This coalition, you may hate it, but it has filled potholes that were never filled before. This coalition, you may hate it, it has cleaned some of our cities that were never cleaned. This coalition, you may hate it, it's sorting out challenges of the CBD and Hillbrow and other areas. This coalition today agreed to buy land to build more houses for our people. So those that think that they can rubbish us on the basis of just saying they are corrupt or just saying that they are lining their pockets without evidence, that accusation will lose its credibility, because you just shout without providing concrete evidence. Here it is, the DA is refusing to cooperate with other political parties. And that's a fact, it's not any other thing. So we can't be scared to confront people that are limping, divided, and other things. We are focused on dealing with our work, and we are quite convinced that we'll deal with that work precisely the way we want it. I'll leave it to the leadership of the political parties that are here to make a member statement. Can I start with you on Spicer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I go follow?
Oh, you still have a follow-up CD. Oh, okay.
We have
TD.
7 in the evening, of course.
Yes, TD, come in.
First of all, I actually agree with you about some of the potholes. Along my route, there was a pothole that was there for so long, and forever. So I will give this coalition a little bit of that.
Thank you.
Jason, what do you make of the feel? I mean, part of the fights that we are seeing, even the back and forth, is actually around the patriotic alliance. What is your sense of that? The fact that there was a possibility of going back and forth, but actually say, and the PA are caught in a tussle, and at the heart of the tussle is the PA. Just your sentiments on what you're watching. And also, how do people then trust, even this coalition, how does it then trust that you will be put? You will not go to Twitter tomorrow and be willing to work with the next person in another metro. How do they buy into what the PA is selling in terms of your commitment to even this coalition agreement with what we've seen from you over recent weeks? Thank you.
Okay, TD, let's go to ENCA.
Heidi, yes. Heidi Jama-ah.
Yes, Heidi.
I just want to ask both Ahmed and Suzuki about whether or not you believe, if you yourself and you as Premier believe that you were effective as a mayor. You were, of course, just in mayorship for about 3 months or so. What do you have to show? What exactly are you proud of in those 3 months? It's, of course, a very short period, so there obviously were many challenges. But what do you have to show as a mayor? I know you speak about the fact that a lot has been done, potholes are being filled, but as a resident of the city of Johannesburg watching this, a lot of the time they don't want to deal with the politics. They want their service delivery, and the city is a mess. There's a lot that's not working. So what do you have to say about your short stint as a mayor, and how do you expect residents to remember you as a mayor of the city of Johannesburg?
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mbali. You are the third. My panelists here, hey, they want to rush to answer. Mbali, over to you. They must just write down those questions.
Valentin Tetwa, SABC News. My question is to the Premier. On Friday, we spoke to the outgoing Mayor, Turin Gray, in Mohale City. And Turin accused you of neglecting service delivery, such as water, and being the catalyst for the instability that we've seen at various municipalities. His exact words has been that Lesotho has been going around destabilizing municipalities instead of addressing issues. To everyone, really, we understand that the coalition has been in talks since last week, Monday. And can we really say that, following the comments that were made by the Patriotic Alliance and the unhappiness that they have expressed, can we really believe that you'll come out stronger? And have you agreed on a way forward? And is this what a united front looks like? Thank you.
Ons by Zani.
No, Tiri, 2016 to 2021, the Patriotic Alliance was in a coalition in Ekurhuleni. From 2021 up until now, we've been in coalition with in Knysna, in TWK, in Laingsburg, in Beaufort West, and there has never been any problem in those coalitions. Wherever we are in coalition with the DA, there's a problem. All those coalitions, we were the ANC and PIC, PAC, and there was no problem. The problem arises with the DA because the DA has that white supremacist tendencies. It's their way or the highway. If you don't listen now, the PA is not the type of party that gets controlled by funders, that gets controlled by people outside that got big businesses. So we will not take their nonsense. So when they come, they tell you, I mean, I'll make you a typical example what happened last week. I get an invite from Corne Mulder that John Steenhuisen would like to have a braai with me, we must talk. I fly to Cape Town, we're having a braai, myself, John, Corne Mulder. And he wanted Corne to make peace between us. Peace was arranged. The next moment, he says, hey, we must work together. I said, yeah, there's some municipalities who can work with you. Then a week thereafter, him coming to say, but before you work with us, you have to do 1, 2, 3. You could have done those things to my father during apartheid, not to me. My father didn't have options. So just to tell you, there's nothing wrong with the PA. The problem is they want subservient people, and we are not subservient. Herman Mashaba has voted them in Tshwane. Action SA voted with them. Today, Herman Mashaba asked them, vote with me in Joburg, which I think was a fair request. But because once again, it's the DA way or no way. So with PA, you can they can stand on their heads. We will never be controlled by them. And this coalition that you see here is very intact because we were offered many things, but we are still here today after all those offerings. Thank you very much.
Ons by Zani.
Thanks.
Thank you, leadership. Just to answer Heidi. So if you remember, the Premier called the Imbizo for energy. As the city, we were consistent in our approach to end the load shedding, and pretty soon we will have the high mast of street lights that have solar technology in areas that are previously disadvantaged, and we are going to erect them pretty soon, latest next month. And we also engaged the independent power producers to assist the city power. We also looking into providing the services of gas as well. That is in the pipeline. Of course, CD just indicated that some of the potholes that were there, they are being filled. That is one thing that we've committed to do. Mbali spoke about the DBSA 2 billion. We came in a month, we achieved that, the DBSA. This is why you are seeing service delivery being prioritized, because we needed a budget to operationalize service delivery in the city of Johannesburg. So this is where we are in terms of what we've done. The senior administration, there has been recruitment of the group CFO. You know that fundamentally it has been a challenge for the longest of time. We couldn't even get grants. We have the city manager that is employed as well. And I know the Premier in one of his representation, he said there was never intergovernmental relations. Then when we came in, there was a cohesion, and this is why it was even easier for us to work and prioritize service delivery. So in hindsight, this wasn't about me, it wasn't about myself, it is for the bigger cause. The collective is here. I'm still part of this team. It doesn't mean that I will be ostracized after my resignation. I'm part of the team, and where we need to contribute, we will contribute without any hesitation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Thapelo. But let's make something clear. You know, the attempts by the DA and other people to make this a Panyaza Lisufi thing will not succeed. And it's deliberately why they want to isolate me from the collective. I've never taken a decision alone. And I'm glad that even the African National Congress have come out clearly that whatever that we're doing here as the African National Congress. It's not a Panyaza Lisufi. But what is strange is that if they filed motions and removed people like they did in Swahili, it's democracy. If they are removed, it's instability. It's very strange. It's a very bad phenomenon. But besides, the minority cannot rule over the majority. In Mohali, majority of councillors voted him out. So it's clashing to straws because of being voted out. I was not even in that council meeting. But what is very important is that there is no sphere of government that can work alone. The biggest instability the DA has inflicted in this province is to disjointly plan about the future of the province without them being at the planning stage. They're not attending meetings of provincial government, national government. They attend meetings by apologies. So there's no strong intergovernment relations. So they are the ones that are at the forefront of instability. But they feel that if they can target me, hurl the insults that they are hurling, and deal with. I'm here in my capacity as the chairperson of the ANC. We've just come out from the NEC. There is a framework that we need to follow, and we'll adhere to that framework. And that is why we're not even announcing the mayor, because there's a framework that it's new that we need to adhere to. So I'm dictated by the collective of the African National Congress, but most importantly, I'm dictated by the collective of all these political parties. And they can tell you, there is no single decision that we have imposed on them. We take decisions together, unlike the DA, where someone in Cape Town must take a decision. And even if you are in Cape Town to take a decision, there must be a final say from a madam for that decision to be implemented. So we don't work that way. We respect our political parties. We're not here alone. We've got other political parties that we work to, and we can be in a position. Indeed, Heidi, Thapelo was leading a collective, and it's become extremely difficult to think that we can pull him out and say, what did you achieve as Thapelo? I really believe this collective has done wonders. I must be honest. And I was saying in our meeting that I never thought the things that they've done will happen in Johannesburg. And they've done that. They're tackling potholes. Yes, there are many, not all of them have been tackled. But there's tangible progress and visible delivery on the issue of dealing with them. They're tackling crime. But most importantly, they are working as a unit, even though they are representing different political parties, but they're working as a unit, which is what we need: stability, sufficient consensus. They're going to have budget meetings now, and they will allocate budgets to improve our townships, informal settlements, and our hostels in our province. So we are committed to work together, and where there are challenges, we've agreed we'll iron out those challenges. And the PA has been part of this coalition, and is part of this coalition, and is going to be part of this coalition. And we don't doubt their bona fide in terms of ensuring that this coalition succeeds, and we'll work with them and proceed to work with them. Thanks.
Bali, you're not done.
Yeah, also, just a quick one.
Okay, Bali, let's hear from you.
Balente Mthethwa, SABC News. And this question is directed to the Patriotic Alliance. You have gone on the record, and my Twitter feed is flooded with questions as to whether or not you are still available for the mayoral position after you availed yourself to lead the city of Johannesburg. Now that there's a vacancy, will you then be raising your hand during those conversations that are going to be had after this briefing?
Tidi?
It's a little bit linked to that, about what happens next. Because you kind of have been available, kind of not available. So what happens next? What is the criteria for this collective in terms of who must replace Thapelo? Does that person come directly from Jama-ah? Are you looking at Gaten, who is apparently allowed just a free, like, I don't know what to call you. What is the criteria that is required? And this is something that's coming from my Twitter page. People are saying, do you recognize that this is the largest economy that you're playing around with on the continent? Because people worry about the constant changes. I know, Panya, that you've spoken about stability, but for residents, constant changes are concerning. People are saying, is there recognition of what you're gambling with? Thank you.
Heidi, are you fine?
For now.
Okay, all right. No, that's fine. Once by Zani.
All right. Where we are at the moment, when you are together in a coalition like this, or in family, or in any environment, you're not always going to agree on everything. Even here amongst us, there's many things we disagree about. There's many things we agree about, including in the party that I belong to. I'm currently still mayor, or should I say executive mayor, until Tuesday next week. I will unfortunately not make myself available for the mayorship of the city of Johannesburg for various reasons. One of those reasons are that the party of which I belong to, the PA, decided that I would be better served by going around the country and go campaign for 2024 than to take this job that Mayor Thapelo told me it's a 27 hour per day job. It's a 9 day per week job. So I would not have a chance to go everywhere. I would have really loved to be the mayor, but because of my party, that said, no, we need you across South Africa. I hope I've answered your question, but I need to add something. There's an element of that nobody wants to say, but we need to say this. In the Western Cape, where the DA is getting a hammering, there are leaders of the DA, the chairs of the DA, that runs around trying to destabilize coalitions, trying to get councillors from other parties. They just took councillors from Good, 3 councillors in George. But nobody says this destabilizing George. When the DA goes around and changing municipalities, Ethel Trollop was the mayor in Nelson Mandela Bay. There were different mayors. Nobody says it is destabilizing coalitions. But as soon as you always hear them saying Panyaza, but they have the very same chair. I mean, the chair of our party, Marlon Daniels, his job is to make sure that he puts the party first. So I just want to say that, this coalition that's here, we've had so many fights, but we are still standing strong. Yeah. And we are going to go strong whether I'm the mayor, whether not, or whoever is the mayor amongst us. That's not even an issue for us. What's an issue for us is to give services to the residents. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Gaten. I think you are right. I mean, the point here is who filed the motion for a vote of no confidence against the mayor tomorrow? It's not us. Who filed the motion against the speaker? It's not us. So this government was functioning, and somebody decided to fill the motion. And we are accused of people that are contributing to instability in the city. and constant changes. We don't have any change that we are making. Thapelo has resigned, notified the coalition, and the coalition has accepted the resignation. Reluctantly, so I must emphasize. So, on the basis of that, we must fill the vacancy. We are filling the vacancy, and we will fill that vacancy next week, Tuesday. And on the basis of that, we really believe that this coalition should be given the opportunity to progress. We feel that we have stabilized the things that were not stabilized in our province, in our municipalities, and we'll continue to work together as a collective and guide how service delivery is rendered in our communities. I want to leave it there. I'm not sure if there's something to add.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's allow.
Okay, before the question, Heidi, let's hear the speaker.
Is a person called, or maybe you shoot it. And
Okay,
then
if
I don't
you,
know how you're feeling for tomorrow.
Thank you, Heidi. We're actually looking forward to tomorrow as a coalition until we receive this unfortunate resignation from the executive mayor, because we wanted to actually go out together as a coalition and demonstrate our strength and our resilience and commitment to this coalition and to the residents of the city of Johannesburg. And I think it's very important that we send out a message as well to these political party leaders that are truly overdosed on motions of no confidence. They are overdosed on some cheap politicking, messing or gambling with what City has mentioned, this economic hub of Africa. And it's unfortunate that they keep interrupting the progress that we have made as a coalition. And the Premier here put it very well to say the progress that was made by the Mayor, it was not him alone as an individual. And there are issues that, of course, cannot be resolved overnight. You know, residents are looking for electricity, for water. Those are bigger issues that the province, national, and other spheres of government are dealing with. But the mayor here can count many things that have been done right in the city under his leadership. And as the legislature that has oversight on that process, we are quite pleased and amazed at how fast they have moved to clean the streets, to fill potholes, you know, to open clinics, and also to address issues of economic development, our SMMEs. Those are the reports that we're getting and we're looking at as part of the oversight that we provide in the city of Johannesburg. And we can't really fault him of driving those basic delivery services to our people. So it's very exciting, of course, that we had a young mayor from the minority. We continue to celebrate him for that. He is the first minority mayor, not only in the city of Johannesburg or in Gauteng, but nationally. He courageously accepted this chair, which we knew, all of us, that it was truly a hot chair, especially taking over from the DA, which did nothing for our people for almost 14 months. For him to accept that position and lead us the way that he did, as a minority, we continue to celebrate him because he has paved the way for all of these other municipalities that you see following suit. And I think it's very important that we highlight that. And what I'm going to call for as well before I get to the council matter is these political party leaders that think they can come and submit motions of no confidence, that really do not understand even the rules of council, are interrupting us, and we think it's enough. We want to ask for peace in the city of Johannesburg. We want to ask for time and space to deliver on the government of local unity priorities. We've agreed on these priorities, but it becomes very difficult when we are not given that space and time to focus on what it is that we're supposed to do. Then you can judge us on performance. Give us time, give us space. 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, call us and ask us, according to our scorecard, what have we done? It's a better conversation to have than to debate on motions of no confidence in the media all the time. With what we have received today from the executive mayor, and reluctantly all of us here have had to agree to the resignation, as the Premier said, it does mean that council tomorrow is impacted. Legal advised me that we should actually postpone the council meeting tomorrow. We are looking at a more probable date, which is probably what we've expressed, through a legal meeting earlier, that it could be next week Tuesday. So everybody will be duly informed, first and foremost the councillors, and of course the notice will go out to the public as well. But the most probable day, it will be next week Tuesday, as we are faced with long weekend, etc. And our legal team is at this point processing that. And as soon as the notices are out, you will be duly informed. I wanted to make that point clear. Thank you very much.
I want to formally welcome the Secretary General of Jama-ah for joining. We know you flew from Cape Town to come and join us. We truly, truly appreciate. I can assure you Thapelo is in our capable hands. So we want to thank you for being here. I'm not sure Mbali, Heidi, and everyone that is here. We are fine now? Are you fine? Fine? No, thank you so much, SG. We truly appreciate that. So if that's the case, Sasabon.
Thank you very much, SG. This is the SG of the Jama-ah. No, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you.
All right, Johannesburg without a mayor once again, and you can count how many mayors Johannesburg has had since the last local government elections, and the council sitting that was due to be held tomorrow is now going to be postponed. A new date will now be set, and notices will then be sent out. And of course, factor in the public holidays this week and next week as well. So Panyaza Lissufi there in his capacity as the chairperson of the ANC in Gauteng, saying that they've had a meeting as the government of local unity, as they call themselves, and they've reluctantly but had to accept the resignation of Thapelo Amad as mayor in Thapelo, saying that the outgoing mayor, they're saying that his resignation has got nothing to do with some public opinion around his leadership.